What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the car for another episode of After the Previews Reacts. Today I'm reacting to Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets. It's a new sci-fi movie by the director Luc Besson. Stars Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne and Clive Owen. Movie's really cool, man. Like, if you're a comic book nerd or a sci-fi geek at all, like, you're gonna love this movie. It's super... it's one of the most beautiful movies you're ever gonna see. Definitely... It's the best visual experience I've had in a movie theater since Avatar. I think I like it more than Avatar. Like, this stuff, like, they start the movie and you're on this like white sand beach. There's clear waters. It's a foreign planet, so everyone's really nice to each other. Everything looks really happy, and then all of a sudden there's just explosions and the sky is falling and there's just space debris just destroying this planet, and it's just awful. It's a horrible scene, but everything still looks amazing. Like, it's like, wow, this looks as real as any movie has ever looked. It's really beautiful, but I'm glad I am not in any of these places. Like, they show you after this one beautiful place, they show you the world or the universe's most beautiful shitholes after that, because like everywhere they go to is just awful. It looks horrible as far as like just like the vibe of the place, but again, just looking at it, it's amazing. There's vibrant colors. Nothing in it was real, but everything looked real. There's a part of the movie where they're doing this like four-dimensional thing, which I don't want to get too into because I don't want to like spoil the cool parts of this movie if you go see it. But they do this thing where they're fucking with like 4 dimensions, and part of him is a hologram and part of him is not a hologram, and it looks like, I don't doubt this for a second. It looks like this is actually what's happening right now. It's so awesome. So going forward, all that said, there are some inconsistencies that I think are kind of annoying, like the way that Dane DeHaan's character Valerian, the way he talks to his superiors in the military. Like, he's not, I don't know if he's technically the same branch, like, because they keep calling him Agent Valerian, but he's also Major Valerian, so he's somewhere, like, he is part of the ranking system, but the way he talks to, like, the commander and the generals sometimes they command respect from him, and sometimes he's just like, I do what I want, and it's like, I don't get it. Why is he allowed to talk like that sometimes? I don't know. It's a minor inconsistency, and you probably won't even notice it if you're not really looking for things like that. And then there's like the script. I get that this movie is based on the graphic novel that was written and drawn. I think it was also drawn by the same guy. No, it doesn't matter. It was written by this French artist, and I don't know his name, but I've read a couple of the panels online, and the dialogue that is in this movie, sometimes it comes off a little corny, and it's like they took it straight from the pages of the book, so that's kind of cool if you're one of the 7 people watching this movie who've also read the book, and that's a horrible thing to say. I'm sure there's a bunch of people who read the book, but really there's a lot more people who didn't read the graphic novel, so you're not really servicing them at all when you put in like corny dialogue, because it comes straight from the book. Like, and then not only that, like Dane DeHaan, who I thought was gonna be great in this movie because I love him as an actor, he wasn't that good in this. There were parts of this where Garrett and I were watching this, like, it kind of seems like he doesn't want to be here. Like, he's just kind of fed up with how corny the script is or something, and he phoned it in. Whereas, like, Cara Delevingne, I thought she was going to suck because of how bad she was in Suicide Squad. She stole all of her scenes, man. Like, she was my favorite actor in this movie. She was better than Clive Owen in his defense. He didn't have as much screen time as she did, but Cara Delevingne killed it in this one. I think this was a perfect role for her, and I think this is a really cool movie that she gets to really show off her acting talent, because Suicide Squad was whack, and I think she got shafted in that one. I don't think it was her fault now that I get to see her in this one. So that was really cool to see that Cara Delevingne actually can act. Aside from that, like the corny script, Rihanna had a part in this movie, and it does service the movie, I guess, a little bit, but when you first meet her, she has this long dance scene, and it's like, they joke about it right after, so it kind of justifies how weird the scene was in itself. But basically it's just like, hey, look at me, I'm Rihanna, and I know all these different kinds of dance styles, which is cool, like, if you appreciate dance. But this is a movie, not a dance showcase, so, like, I appreciate dance, and I can see that that's the cool thing that they're showing off right there, but it's like, it doesn't have any place in this movie. So, that's, I mean, she didn't have a horrible part, like, her acting, I mean, it wasn't big, so it wasn't like she really gets to showcase, like, oh, look, I'm also an actor. Like, she had some pretty minor roles, and not roles, but minor dialogue, and the role she was playing, it allowed her to be a little bit of a corny character. That's all I want to say. Like, she is kind of corny, but it makes up for itself. It's not something that's really taking away too much from the movie. So, I think that's it. That's what I really want to just put out there for this movie. That's my reaction to it. I'm gonna give it a solid, like, at its worst, I think 7.5. At its best, I would say 8.3. This is a really, really cool movie, and the story was awesome. Like, it's really well written. There's not too, I don't think there were any plot holes. I'd have to rewatch for that, which is crazy because I usually only pay attention to story. But yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch to see about plot holes. But I didn't notice any. I thought it was a pretty well written story. It was all formulated pretty good. Like, it all makes sense. There's some things that are hard to keep up with just because, like, this is a very advanced sci-fi movie. Like I said, they fuck around with some 4-dimension stuff in the first half hour to an hour, somewhere around the first part of the movie. They're fucking with some weird 4-dimension virtual reality type things, and it's really awesome, but it gets confusing for a couple minutes, like, if you don't pay attention. So, that said, 8.3 at its best, 7.5 at its worst. Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. This has been After the Previews Reacts. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, like our page on Facebook, and shut off your cell phones.